Hey guys, so if you followed me since the beginning, you know that I'm on this weird spiritual journey where the masters are finding me and I'm being uploaded with all this information from all these different places, and I'm learning a lot in a very short amount of time. And I'm starting to wonder if part of it is brainwashing. I'm gonna be honest with you because I don't like to lie, if part of this is brainwashing or if it's really true, because they have like these things called programs, right? They have the God program and all these other things. They're ideas that are put into mainstream, the mainstream world. It's like marketing to control us, right? So monogamy supposedly is one of these things. They use fear to make you want to control your partner and be in a monogamous relationship when we're all really meant to love everyone, right? So then they create diseases to stop us from loving everyone so that we can only be with that one partner, right? Does that make sense? So that you don't experience true unconditional love with everyone that you can love. Is it true? I don't know. The 444. Jay-Z just came out with an album called 444, right? Everyone's talking about how they see 444. Then there's this marketing that says that it means that angels are near you. Now, I understand if you look at your phone and you see 444 or 111111 or 222 or 121212. I made a video about this, and it means that you're on the right path, but does it really mean that you're on the right path? Or are we all just being brainwashed by our telephones, TVs, frequencies on the radio, frequencies everywhere that are making us look at our phones at these specific times, which means that we're literally being programmed and we're stuck in the matrix. Like, they literally have control of us, because now every time we look at our phone, it's 111 or 222 or 333 or 444 or whatever. Is it a genuine message from the universe, or is it more brainwashing from the Bilderbergs or the Rothschilds or whoever else is in charge now, or, the Vatican? I don't know. I wouldn't say the Vatican, but you never know. So now, I wouldn't say that because I'm Catholic, so I can't, but you never know. So what is this? Is this a spiritual evolution that we're going through? Is it connected to astrology and the cosmos? Or is it more marketing from the 1% to try to control us because nothing else has been working? So they're like, you know what? We're going to create a spiritual evolution, because it worked with God, right? It worked with God with the Crusades. It worked with God in the medieval times. But that's not really working anymore. We divided them with religion, right? So they're all worshiping God, but they're all worshiping God in different ways, which causes them to war with each other because they've chosen to worship God differently. So now we'll call it the source. We're all connected to the source. And it's all about energy, because people are freaking out over energy. Like, I've met some people that are out there that are like sensitive to energy, and and I've always, I guess, been permanently shielded because I just knew better. Like, when I walk in a room, I love to be around people, and I didn't shield myself because I'm like, I'm putting a layer of protection over me. I was just always protected because I was like, oh my God, I'm around a lot of people. Like, I just didn't let people's energy affect me until people started talking about energy. And then I'm like, maybe that's why I'm acting this way and blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't acting that way until I read about it. So again, are we being brainwashed? Is the fact that this information is out there and you're being exposed to it, it's making you think like, oh yeah. Or is it really happening? I leave that question to you guys, for you to answer it for yourself, because I know before I learned all this spiritual stuff, I was happy and life was great and I was blessed and I had all of these coincidences and blessings and life was amazing. And then I started learning about this stuff and it got a little chaotic, and then I started learning more, and I guess the best way to say is like shit hit the fan and things just started getting weird. And then I started learning more, and then it started neutralizing and leveling out again. And now I feel like I'm at the point where I'm in control again, but I don't like being in control. I like that spontaneity. I like that I don't know what life is going to throw at me, but I'm going to make the best of it. So let's just, live life that way, which is what I'm doing now. But I don't know about this energy thing. Like, I know that there's coincidences. Like, I see things. I see license plates that have numbers. I see houses that have numbers. But then I'm wondering if it's a coincidence or if they're put there. If these people have these license plates, with words that give you, like, messages on purpose. again, the 1%ers can be like, I want you to get this license plate and drive around, so that people can see this and it'll be linked to a message that's going around at the time, if that makes any sense. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist to that degree, but I am very aware of patterns. So from a very early age, I see patterns. I'm very good with numbers. I usually predict things before they happen, just because I see the pattern happening. I'm not psychic. It's literally, in my opinion, logic and common sense combined when you've actually learned or understand numbers and patterns. I've always tapped my fingers since I was young without knowing why. Tapping is supposedly connecting to the universe. Like, I came here very in-tuned and attuned. I came here very awake and aware at a very early age. I was just observing most of my youth and soaking it in. I wasn't a speaker until later. Even now, I speak because I feel like I should, not because I love to speak, you know. I'm more of a listener and a learner. But every time I meet people, they're like, you should do Reiki, or you're a healer, or you're this and you're that. And it's the same message over and over. But is it because that's what I am? Or is it because that's what they're told to tell me? You know, like, that's what society has told them, you know, or the media has told them, or their teachings have told them. You know what? I know that there's real psychics out there that they know things. Like, I know things. But, like, I believe that it's common sense and logic. It's a mathematical equation. If you understand history and you paid attention in school, you'll be able to predict what's going to happen next. If I see that there's something wrong, I'm a problem solver. So it's very easy for me to look at something and then find the solution, or multiple solutions, very quickly, because I read a lot and I watched a lot of movies. Like, a ridiculous amount of movies and TV shows. So I've seen different scenarios, how they've played out and what the solution was for those, so that it's easier for me to come up with things. But that doesn't mean that I'm psychic. I look at these gypsies that read your palm. They basically all say the same thing every single time. Is it that my palm says that? Or is it that they're just saying what they think you want to hear? You know, same thing with the face reading and whatnot. So I'm starting to wonder, you know, is it true that we only have this one life? There is no reincarnation, or maybe there is. I've always believed in reincarnation. You know, like, what is real and what isn't? And I'm not trying to screw with people's heads. I'm not trying to get you to think differently. I'm just trying to get you to think. Are you feeling genuine, true connection to source and energy, or are you being brainwashed and then just absorbing what other people are telling you? Because it's just too much of a coincidence, especially when Jay-Z came out with the album 444. I'm like, dude, we all know you and Beyonce are part of the Illuminati and you're all like up there somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, and now that's more of like a sign. Like, there are cabs all over the city in New York that have 444 on top. And I think that's a trigger. So basically they subconsciously put information in your brain, and then they trigger it with certain numbers, or they trigger it with certain words. And Trump uses certain words because he's triggering his group of people that follow him, which some people call the deplorables, but I'm just saying what they say. And they use certain words like fantastic, you know, and, you know, the words that he repeats over and over. It's not a coincidence. He's basically brainwashing you, and he's triggering you so that when you hear those words in other speeches or by other people, you're going to be triggered. Like, I can't explain it all. I've been lucky enough to work with therapists, so many therapists, psychiatrists, you know, people that NPR, like people that do all these interesting things. I don't find them. They find me. Like, they find me on TaskRabbit, and they find me through referrals. And then I'm learning all of these things. Like, read the book, The Game. It's about how men use certain manipulation techniques to control women. And one of my friends suffered from that 3 years ago, and it was really terrible witnessing it. And a lot of Middle Eastern men use that practice, and a lot of them don't. You know, like, when I say something, it's not like everybody. It's just certain people, you know. But look up The Game, okay? It's a guy's guide book to controlling women or dating women or something like that. You look it up, buy it, read it, Kindle it, get it from a friend, download the PDF, do whatever you need to do. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and it all has to do with control. I watched this documentary called The Girl in the Box. My friend recommended it yesterday. I watched it right away. It was 45 minutes long. It's on YouTube. And it's basically how this guy kidnapped this girl and controlled her by saying that, you know, she was his slave, and he put her in a box, and he said that, you know, he's with this group of men that control women called the Company, which isn't true. He had her sign a contract, and he's like, you know, he let her walk along the street and jog because he's like, all these people are in the Company and they're going to report you if you do anything or you try to run away. We're going to find you. We know where your family is. He even let her see her family and pretended to be her boyfriend. Like, it was crazy. Do I think is that what I'm talking about? No, I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about spirituality. I'm talking about Gaia and all this information that suddenly comes out of nowhere. Come on now. You know, there's certain people that have been learning this stuff from the 70s and 80s when, you know, the cults first started and Scientology and all that. But the question is, was that the test to see if we as a humanity and we as people are willing to accept that reality? And if we are, then they take that test market and then market it to the world again to control them. It's almost like they put these things out there, they see how people react to it, and if they get the reaction that they want, then they turn it into this huge program that is another way to control us. You know, before it was like, remember it was, oh, don't use sugar, use Splenda or Sweet and Low. And then we find out those things cause cancer. Oh no, but it's healthier than sugar. You know, don't use fat, use peanut oil and whatever. That's peanut oil. And all that, those oils that are not fat are not good for you. You're not supposed to have that much oil from anything, even coconut oil. I don't care what anybody says. Wait a while and then you'll find out that it's the way that we use it and the amount that's being used. The human body is not supposed to absorb that much coconut oil. Like, unless you're from the Caribbean, your body's not really used to it or accustomed to it. So wait till that comes out later on. But, you know, right now you're going to be like, she doesn't know she's talking about coconut oil is the best thing. But why? Because everywhere you look, it says that. And that's what I'm trying to say. Everywhere you look, it says the same thing. Why? Because it's the marketing that they're allowing us to see. It's the marketing that they've created and they're allowing us to witness. It has nothing to do with information getting out there for us. It's what they allow us to be exposed to. And that's the whole point of this video is this stuff legitimately real, or is it marketing that is put out there to brainwash us so that we can be controlled by them? What is your truth? I want to know what people's truth is. Is it really your truth? Because I know what my truth was when I came here, before I was influenced by the world. This was before I learned anything like, you know, reading and blah, blah, blah. I know my truth. I know why I came here. I know what my truth is. What is your truth? Or is your truth what your family taught you, what the books taught you, what your friends taught you, what different organizations you were involved with taught you? What is your truth? What is the truth that you were born here with? Do you know what that truth is? Is there a truth? Is there a universal truth? Or are we, you know, really just slaves? Are we really brainwashed? Is this really a matrix? Because I'm seeing a lot of things and I'm looking at my friends and I see how they're evolving and I'm like, you know what? You weren't like this. And this might not be a spiritual evolution. This might be a mass brainwashing, you know? Because people don't change that much that quickly. And it's good, trust me, they're changing for the better. But then I think about Stephen King's The Cell and the programming, and I'm like, if this is a programming, and this is a frequency-based programming, right? Vibrating on different levels and blah, 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 right? Does that mean that they can put a frequency out that's going to cause people to like act like the Cell? I read the book. I didn't see the movie yet. Read the book by Stephen King, The Cell. It's very interesting. And it brings me, you know, because remember, this evolution has just started the last 20 years. Because remember, we didn't have cell phones until 1997. That's, you know, I got my first cell phone in 1997. That was 20 years ago. In 1998, you know, but most people had beepers then, you know. But before that, we didn't have all this access to electronics and radios and frequencies and waves, and all the cars are electronic now. And so there's that constant buzzing that's programming you subconsciously and you don't realize it. That's why I drive all my cars are like older than the year 2000. Like I drive a 1997 right now because I'm like, I don't need all that, you know, and I don't put the radio on unless I have to. So think about that. Because there's a reason I'm saying this. There's a reason this video came to me and I felt compelled to make it. I do believe that there is a degree of brainwashing that's going on. And I think it has to do with the blue light in the phone, the vibration of the phone. There's certain times that everybody's looking at the clocks at the same time. We're all being brainwashed and put together at this one time. It's not spirituality. I know spirituality. It's not. This is brainwashing. And I just want you guys to see if you're falling into this, because it's just, it can't be coincidence. It can't be that we're all seeing the same thing and then Jay-Z comes out with the album 444. Like, trust. Something's up. Love you guys.